yet some hedge funds may have seen this plunge coming and got short ahead of all that volatility. John Tabacco is the CEO of Locate.com, joins us with his inside insight. Now, John, our crack producer back at Englewood Cliffs was speaking to you last week, and you were flagging this activity to him last week. So this was well in advance of this big market decline. What did you see?
Correct. Yesterday's behavior was really no surprise to us when we saw the behavior of our customers, who are usually hedge funds looking to short hard-to-borrow names. We saw their behavior that was far from our mean. We keep a 60-day moving average of our usual daily volumes, and last week we saw a spike of about 50% in one day, and we started to notice that not only, to Joe's point, they weren't big targets, but the breadth of the names being requested to be shorted was also widening like double our usual. So we felt like, man, there's a big market mover out there. And when we started talking to our customers, many of the bears felt like the reddest meat out there was in the financials. Right. They were pre-forecasting an unemployment number that might hit 10%, and that might stress the banks.
Right. John, Guy has a question, but in the meantime, while Guy's asking the question, we want to throw up this full screen of the stocks where you saw this unusual activity, including Amback, Citi, MBIA.
Yeah, well, I have a comment, then a question, I guess. I mean, my comment is, you had to be taken by surprise. Just nobody saw the magnitude of that move. If you did see that coming, I hope you made a ton of money on it, because I don't think anybody foresaw that. And the second point is, now what are people shorting now? I mean, what are people trying to borrow now, I should say?
Well, Guy, I'll get to that in a minute, but John Malloy, your producer, asked me last week if I would concur that many people were covering their shorts, and that's why the market was behaving to the upside. And I said, no, quite the contrary. They're doubling down and shorting even more. And last Thursday, I told them we didn't expect a move in the hundreds to the downside. We expected it to the thousands in the downside, and I stick with that. And today, when we look at the stocks that are most shorted, it's also the financials again. Citigroup. The shorts are saying that there's a huge overhang from the government. There's tons of shares out there, dilution, destruction of shareholder value, no change in management.
John, when you see all this activity, do you add it up and you say another 300 points down next week? I mean, what do you do with that information when you conglomerate it?
You know what? We don't trade. We're a neutral. We're a securities lending platform. We don't take any trading positions. We just put out analytics, and our analytics are saying to us that from here it looks like, much like the guys were saying before, there's a big event still out there, and we stick with this. Probably 1,500 more points to the downside from here.
John, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. John Tabacco of Locate.com. Interesting. So be on your toes next week. More Fast Money coming up next.